Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. We are going to conduct OPRC class, online Pali reading class, day 66. So before we get started, shall we pay respect to the book? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So today we are going to look at another stanza of the thoughts. We have yet to finish 3 more stanzas, including this one. So let's take a look at stanza first. Dhammapada 41. Achirang vatayang kayu pataving adi sesati. Chuddu apeta vinyano nirattangva kalingaram. Once again, achirang vatayang kayu pataving adi sesati. Chuddu apeta vinyano nirattangva kalingaram. Okay, so maybe asking groups to read. First, I would like to ask someone from group 1 to read. Anybody from group 1? Group 2? Yeah, Suzanne, please go ahead.
Oh, good evening, Bhante, and everyone. Thank you. Achiram vatayam kayo patavim adhisesati chuto apeta vinyano miratamba kalingaram.
Okay, good, great. And someone from group 3, yes, Chupen, let's go ahead.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Achirang vatayang kayo, patawing adi sesati, chudo apeta yunano, nira tamwa kalingaran.
Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 4, we're having KP on. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes,
Achirang
please.
vatayang kayo, pataving adi sesati. Chudo apeta vinyano. Yeah. Niratangwa kalingara.
Great.
Thank you.
And group 5. Yes, Melanie, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah.
Achiram vatayam kayo, patavin adit sesati, chudo apeta binyano, niratamba kalinkaram.
Kalinga. Okay, great.
Thank you, thank you.
And group 6. Oh, yeah, group 6, somebody read.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sekiwoto Bhante.
Yes, okay, go to.
Achirang watayang kayo, patawing adise sati. Chudo apeta vinyano, niratangwa kalingarang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Group 7. Yes, Maya, please. Group 7, Mia.
Aciram atayam kayo, patawi adi sesati, chudo apeta winano, viratam wa kalinggaram.
Do you like to repeat this word? Chuddo apeta
Chudo apeta winano.
vinyano.
Minyano.
Vinyano.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bhante.
Great. And group 8. Yes, Doris, please go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Aciram patayam kayo, fatavim adisesati, chudo apeta vinyano, nira tamva kalinggaram.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, and others. So now it's opportunity for others to read. Anybody else who would like to read? Start with TC. Let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Achiram vatayam kayo, patavim ahdi se sati. Judo opeta viniano, nira tamwa kalinggaram.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And CH, yeah?
Aciram vitayam kayo, patawim adi sesati, judo apeta vinyano, niratawa kaligaram.
Okay, great. And then O.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Yes, please.
Acirang watayang kayo, patawin adi sesati. Chudo apeta vinyano, niratamwa kalinggarang.
Okay, great. And then Jenny, please.
Evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Acirang watayang kayo, patawim adi sesati. Sudo apita vinyano, nira tamwa kalinggarang.
Okay, great.
Thank
And then
you.
Pochu, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Good evening.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Acerang watayang kayo, patawim adisesati. Chudo apeta vinyano, niram tamwa kalinggaram.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And we have Serin. Yeah, Serin, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Suki hotu Bhante.
Okay.
Acirang watayam kayo, patawim adese seti. Chudo apeta vinyano, niratawa kalinggaram.
Okay,
Kalinggaram.
great. Yes. Great.
Bhante.
And then, yeah, and then Mayo.
Aciram watayam kayo, patawim adisesati, judo apeta vinyano, niratamwa karigaram.
Niratamwa
Niratamwa kalinggaram.
Kaling. Okay, great.
Thank you,
And we
Bhante.
have Diane Chen. Yes. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Acirang watayang kayo, patawim adi sesati, judo apeta vinyano, niratamwa kalinggaram.
Great.
Thank you.
And Feeling. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Hey, Bhante, can you put up Acirang batayang kayo, patawim adi sesati, chudo apeta vinyano. Can I see? Nira tamwa kalinggaram.
Okay, great.
Nira tamwa kalinggaram. Okay, thank you.
Right. Anybody else?
Bhante,
Yes. Please.
Aciram watayang kayo, patawing adisesati.
Chudo apeta vinyano niratangva kalingarang.
Okay, great. Okay, anybody else who would like to read? John Paklam, please go ahead.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you. Achirang Vatayam Kayo. Patawin Ahi Sesati. Chuto Apeta Vinyano Niratamva Kalingaram.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes. Right. Yes. I heard 14 is reading. Would you like to read too? 14?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, please.
Aciram wat ayam kayo, patawin adi sesati. Tudo apeta vinyano, niratam wa kaligaram.
Kalingaram. Okay. And Corinne, I think the last. Yeah.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes, please go ahead.
Aciram watayam kayo, patawim adise sati. Chudo apeta vinyano, niratamwa kalingaram.
Okay, great. Okay, so right. Okay, so this stanza is about how can I put this? It's about someone who is going to pass away. Medically speaking, there's not much thing that can be done by anybody. It's about one monk called Putigatisa. And Buddha was trying to help him out in the best way possible, because the situation has gone beyond the medical help. And then he was trying to explain about what's going to happen to this body. The importance of this stanza to our personal life comes from a context where we need to understand how things are happening. Not to worry, but to happily embrace. Normally, when we think about death, sickness, we are very resistant to the idea of the state of that mind. Of course, we are not supposed to accept it. Without doing the necessary things. So let's take a look, and then we will explain more things on that. Chitta. Chitta means thought. I think we discussed about a couple of Pali words about the cognitive process. The first one is chitta, thoughts. And then we talk about mind. The Pali word for mind was mano, M-A-N-O, mano. And then we discuss about higher version of the thought process. We call it vinyana. So there are three Pali words involved with regard to the cognitive process. And the ways and means how we understood these three Pali words are very important, because we know now normally in English the word mind includes lots of things. But in the Buddhist perspective, when you take different other contextual teachings, including Abhidhamma, we understand Buddha is always asking us to take care of not the mind, but the thoughts. Yes, yes, we have to take care of our mind. That's the physical, not physical, I would say the place where the thoughts are happening, but more to the thoughts. That's why you say, Sabbha papasa akarana, not to do any unwholesome activity. Kusalasa upasampada, working towards enhancing our kusala aspects. Then sachitta paryuda, not samano paryuda, sachitta. Chitta is very important. Because chitta is happening in the mind. So the Buddha is asking you to think about the chitta side. Then when you look at satipatthana, the samma sati part, you understand chitta anupassana, not mano anupassana. The Buddha said chitta anupassana. And he talks about, I think, almost 16 thoughts. Saraga, sadosa, samoha, vikkita, then mahagata, amahagata, right? And then what else? And vimutta, avimutta. There are many thoughts, but normally these 16 thoughts, they are under the, what you call, chittas. And if you look at this Dhammapada's chapter about the akusala thought, it's also chitta, not manovag, right? So that means we have to clearly understand that these Pali words are discussing different aspects of the thought process. Mano is the overall sense faculty, and then the thoughts are that are happening inside the mind. And as an improvement of the thought process, we understand the vinyanas. Today we are talking about something very interesting vinyana. We call it most important vinyana, right? That's what we will learn at the end. Okay, so once again, if somebody asks you, how does the Buddha discuss the mind? Then you have to say, in mind. You cannot just compare the mind directly to mano. The Buddha talks the mind activity through 3 Pali contexts: mano, chitta, vijnana. So we have to clearly clarify what those individual contexts mean, and then where to work on. Sometimes people work on the mind. They don't work on the thoughts. Right? How to work on the mind without understanding the thoughts that I employ. Actually, we have to pick up, this is a kusala thought. It's a kusala thought. Then the mind is already okay. It's a complementary stage. Mind is complementary. The good mind is complementary as a result of taking care of our wholesome thoughts. Not that you prick the mind separately. This is mind. If you take care of the thoughts, mind, what you call wholesome mind is complementary. Nobody want to buy add-on services to the mind at that point. It's a part of calming our thoughts, maybe transformation of our thoughts. Okay, having said that, let's go to the stanza. Okay, you can see the Buddha is trying to say the importance of body and mind. Now, normally, we don't separate these two. See, body and mind. This is how, in the English context, and we call it, what you call, sentient life. So, the nature of a sentient being. This is called kaya. This is called mano. No, kaya and chitta. That's why we don't call it mano. Kaya and chitta, not mano. Now, this is another good example, a place for us to understand. It's not mano, kaya and chitta. So, this, what you call, totality, this amalgamation, is given in many Dhamma teachings. Can you think about those Dhamma teachings? Buddha explained to us in very interesting ways about the amalgamation, what you call the totality of these two. We call it, what you call, this duality, kaya and chitta. We call it, simply speaking, panchakanda. Right? Panchakanda. 5 aggregates. Then body is rupa. Then that means kaya part. Then chitta is vedana, sanya, sankara, vinyana. Right? We have to understand we cannot talk about the chitta without the kaya. And we cannot talk about body without the chitta. So they are embedded inside of that totality. But why did the Buddha ask us to separate them time to time? Why is it? It is because when we distinguish, when we separate out these five into mainly, there are many what you call classifications when we want to dissect them. One, the what you call the bare minimum classification is Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa classification. Nama means Chitta part, Rupa means Kaya part. Then what are the other further classifications of the duality of body and thought, or what you call Kaya and Chitta? Second is, there are many other classifications. Where can we see these classifications? Madhupindika Sutta. If you look at Madhupindika Sutta, you see the number of Madhupindika Sutta. Majjhima Nikaya 18. Majjhima Nikaya is 18. In this sutta, the the bare minimum classification of body and thought, say mind, and then the the most expansive classification of body and mind have been given by both Buddha and then Arahant Mahakachaya. Now the bare minimum, the simplest classification between these two is Nama Rupa, and then the highest, most expanded classification is 18 elements. What are these 18 elements? You already know 4 elements, Patavi, Apu, Tejo, Vayu. 18 elements means, let's take your eyes, Chakku Dhatu. Eye is an element. Then parallel to the eyes, you can see the objects of the eyes, Rupa Dhatu. Then parallel to Chakku Rupa Dhatu, in the eyes, Chakku Vijnana Dhatu, eye conscious element. So you multiply this by 6, you get 18. So in this way, we don't have to go to too many deep stuff, because I always say I would like to stay as simple as I can, because there are newcomers who might have no understanding about Pali that much. And one of the things that I said at the beginning of this class long time ago is that not going to catch up with lots of too much Pali interpretations, but we have to discuss certain important aspects. Okay, so going back, we understand that Nama Rupa is the simplest classification of our life. That means we have Nama part, we have Rupa part. Nama part means the thought part, cognitive part, and then the Rupa part is the body part. Okay. Here the Buddha is trying to say what is happening to our body part, Kaya part, in the first 2 lines. Let's take a look. Achirang vatayang kayo pataving adi sessati. Achirang means without long. Achirang. Chiram means, what does chiram mean?
Long.
Chiram means long. Chiram means long. Have you ever found out this Pali word elsewhere in your chanting book?
Buddha Sasana
Buddha Sasana Chiram Kitab 2.
That is one place. And then are there any other places where you found this Pali, this section of the Pali? Chiram.
Chiram can also mean walk, right? Practice.
What about when we share good karmas with the Devanaga Mahindika, Akasatta Bhummatta, Devanaga Mahindika, Punyantang Anumoditva, Chirang. See, you already know this Pali word. Chirang Rakkantu Sasan, Chirang Rakkantu Desana, Chirang Rakkantu, Chirang. Chirang means long. Right? That means may Devanaga Mahindika protect the Buddha Sasana long. May Devanaga Mahindika protect the teaching of the Buddha long. May the Devanaga Mahindika protect us, myself and other people long. Right? What if Deva protect me only today and tomorrow they are going back, It's not nice, you know. We want them to be with us, right? So we always have to say, hey, don't leave me. I mean, we want this protection because we are good people. Okay. So Chirang. Here Achirang. Achirang means not that long. That means maybe within a short amount of time, immediately. Achirang. Then Vata. Here you understand Ayang. Ayang. What does Ayang mean?
This.
This, not chicken. It's not chicken. Ayang means this. And somebody was telling me they copied this ayang and then said this is chicken, you know. But ayang means this body, and water. Okay, going back. Achirang means without long. Ayang kayo, this body, water.
Indeed.
Yeah, this is kind of an exclamation. Indeed, maybe it's like body is like going to this and that, you know. Yeah, exclamation. Achirang water. Ayang kayo water achirang. So proper English translation from the best could be to soothe this body. Pataving adisessati. Pataving means Patavi. What does Patavi mean?
Earth or ground.
Yeah, Patavi means earth or here the ground. Patavi means the ground. Adisessati. Here we understand sessati means actually this comes from seti. Seti. Seti means, have you found out this Pali word? Seti.
Lie down.
Lie down. Lie down. No, we know in many suttas Buddha uses this Pali word. Can you remember other places where he uses this Pali word? Seti. S-E-T-I. Huh?
Sleeps well.
Sleeps well. When the Buddha was talking about the benefits of metta practice, he uses Seti. Right? Seti means sleep, lie down. But here, this is something inclining towards the ground. Right? So, this body soon will incline towards the ground, lie on the ground. So, why is the Buddha talking like this? Are we supposed to think like this all the time? Are we supposed to think that body will fall down all the time, incline towards the ground? Why did he mention this kind of an idea over here? It is because the monk that he was giving this talk almost going to die. So he was helping the monk that this is going to happen to you. Because Buddha can't help him. Why? Sometimes Buddha cannot help other people because the karma is so powerful than the Buddha. Karma is sometimes very powerful. Remember, there was a man who walked with the Buddha, and then the man walked with the Buddha, and then somebody shot an arrow. It was behind the Buddha. He died. And other monks and everybody was trying to say that because he followed the Buddha, he got this arrow. No, even he followed me or not, at that time he had to die. His karma is expiring. So that means, although we see that there are places where Buddha help others to get rid of death, there are certain times Buddha also even cannot help. For this cosmic nature, nobody can exceed cosmic nature. even the Buddha is around or not. So Buddhism in that case is not an escapement, escaping, running away from the reality, rather understanding the reality so that mind becomes well and happy. Okay, so Achirang Vatayang Kayo Pataving Adisesati. Okay? See over here. Okay, this part. This is about the Chitta part, but Buddha is talking from a different perspective. Viññāno, apeta viññāno chuddho. Chuddho means, you can see, cast aside. That means body is left on a side. Now in Indian society, we understand there was no proper post-mortem that was happened at that time. When somebody passed away, they brought the dead body onto a certain cemetery and then just wrapped it around, then brought it to that place and then leaves it and then they go. And then all the things are happening to that dead body. That's why when you see there are certain, what do you call, meditation instructions given about the dead body. Uddumataka, Vinilaka, Vipuppaka, the, what do you call this, the swollen dead body. How come it's a dead body is swollen? Because normally there's a proper post-mortem done. I mean, if it is embalmed properly, how is it going to be swollen? Right? Because at that time there was no proper embalming system. And then what do you call Vipubbaka? That means now the pus is coming out of the body. Actually, we have to understand how to perceive these teachings in Buddhism, rather thinking that life is pessimistic. So the thing that even the things like looking at the what do you call 10 channel what do you call it, contemplation about dead body came because of the nature what other people did for a dead body at that time. But nowadays we don't see that. Sometimes a dead body is more fresh than a living body. Yeah? The way how they do the embalm in today's world, they do it very nice. See, like better than a living person, right? So, anyways, culture has changed, time has changed. How to understand Buddha teaching with these changing cultures and situation, life and modern world? So we look at this what you call chuddho part, not that people leave the body somewhere, right? If you ask from a nurse from a certain place where the nurse had to sort of clip the nail of a dead person, say a senior person passed away, but they are instructed to even clip the nails in a way that the person is still living. They are respecting the dead body. If you ask from a nurse from a developed place, they might explain to you, not that the person passed away. And the fear that the nurse may have to work with the dead body at that point, the person just passed away, lying on. But by professional working ethics for a nurse cannot, do the necessary things by thinking the person is dead. Has to do it by thinking this person is still living and I'm not going to give pain to this body while even I'm clipping the nails of the person. Even doing things to the jaw, if the jaw is going to be so much stiff before the embalming. So that means this chuddho part has to be understood from a contextual point of view. That means, yes, at that time, the body is just left somewhere in a certain cemetery. Not even that at that time, even some animals come and then they do certain things. But today we don't have that kind of a thing, right? But anyways, we understand this chuddho part in a way that body is left on the ground finally, where maybe if your body is buried Maybe if your body becomes ashes after cremation, they might also be placed right that way. And now what's happening to the cognitive part? Vinyano apeta. Apeta vinyana. Apeta. Have you ever found out similar Pali words about apeta? I think you must have found out this Pali word. Just cross out a part. Sorry. This Pali word. Peta. There is peta, right? Can see over here. Peta. But here apeta. What does it mean? How to understand this Pali word? There's a Pali verb stem called e. E. This is the Pali word. E. E means
To go.
To depart. E means to depart. It's the Pali root. And now here, per e, that means any being who departed. So anybody who is passing away is called peta. But they are not the aggressive petas. You know, the aggressive ones, they call it as hungry ghosts, because they are taken as different from normal peta. Right? I think we have discussed it a long time ago. They are called as Kupipasa peta, right? But normally, when anybody passes away, that person is called peta. So peta means departed. Now apeta means apeta vinyana. Apeta vinyana.
Devoid.
Deprived. That means the vinyana is absent at that point. That's why the body is falling to the ground. Vinyana is absent at this point. What is this vinyana? What kind of vinyana? How did the Buddha explain this vinyana? How many vinyanas we are supposed to discuss in Buddhism? You might say the number here.
Bhante, is it 6?
Okay, this is a very interesting teaching because, you know, the Buddhist teachings have undergone a lot of changes depending on the development of Buddhist schools. But normally we understand, the Buddha says, Mano is mind and Chitta is thoughts. And then Vijnana is a developed state of your mind that happens when you are cognizing certain things. We call it sensory consciousnesses. Say, for instance, now I'm looking at it, I'm looking at you. Eyes, then the rupa, that means sight. Because of the eyes and sights, there comes an eye consciousness. So then, in the same way, so are the other 5 consciousnesses, sensory consciousness. So it means eye consciousness, ear consciousness, and all that. Let me ask you, how to separate out eye from eye consciousness? What is the difference? Eye is eye, sight is sight. Then what is this eye consciousness? How to understand it?
The seeing process, Bhante, the seeing process is the eye consciousness.
Is it the contact from the contact? Eye with the contact with the object becomes eye consciousness.
Contact comes later. After the consciousness part, contact comes in. That's a higher process. Still, we are discussing about the first 3: sense faculty, then the object, then the particular consciousness. I'm asking how to understand this sense faculty and the consciousness. What is the difference between these 2? Now, say for instance, we see a certain what do you call sight. Say for instance, you are seeing some flowers, and then it involves your eyes, and then the sight. And then what happens, because of the sense faculty and then the sight, the relevant sight, what is happening? That there is a certain knowing part. It's not particular knowing, it's a certain invisible knowing part is happening in the process of your mind. So that is a higher state of your individual sense faculty. So that means Chakku Vijnana is what you call stronger than Chakku. Let's take it that way. Say for instance, you are having a certain kind of a food. Let's say you are having you're having something. Maybe you are having a biscuit, a cookie, right? But the cookie is not something that you have not had before, right? It's a different cookie. The taste is also going to be different. You never know it yet. Now you are going to take it, you are going to put inside of your mouth, and now you are chewing it, biting it, and then you now feel the taste of the cookie that you have never experienced. Then tongue, then the what you call the taste. It's the tongue. Because of the tongue, you can experience the taste, and then the taste is happening because of the tongue, and then the biscuit. Now, once you are experiencing the taste of the biscuit, what's happening to you? You are developing a certain knowing of that object, maybe similarly or dissimilarly. Let's say you've been having some very much salty biscuits in the past. Suddenly this biscuit is salt-free biscuit. And also maybe it's very sweet, maybe it's very good. Then you are immediately coming up with a certain knowing that this seems to be something that I have to follow. Next time when I go to the grocery shop, I want to buy this cookie. Maybe this is good for me. But that knowing part is related to the sensory consciousness. That means now with regard to the tongue, it's going to be tongue consciousness, Jivha Vijnana. But keep in mind, the consciousness, Vijnana, that's called Jivha Vijnana, this consciousness that we are talking today, in this tense, is not that kind of a very basic general Vijnana. Okay? All the sensory Vijnanas, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness, they all arise, persist, and pass away within this consciousness that we are talking to in this tense. So, the Buddhist traditions that arose at certain time, like Madhyamika philosophy, Yogacara philosophy, they put different names for this. They said Alaya Vijnana. Alaya means the place. And then, some said Bhavanga Vijnana. Some said Sansarik Vijnana. But Buddha said only Vijnana. Ayavachana Vijnana. Right? So this means this Vijnana is the real mind, our real mind that has our good karma, bad karma, neutral karma. In this Vijnana, all the other small Vijnanas, eye consciousness, ear, and all these rest of the consciousnesses, and everything else is happening. Even our karmas are also being packed up and then being neutralized, maybe being improved, depending on the anicca, dukkha, anatta. And the karma saturation is also happening inside of this higher consciousness. Right? So this is what came to a physical part of somebody when mother, father get together, and then that physical fetus, embryo, got this consciousness. And then when the embryo is going to, grow, and then the person is going to grow, consciousness is going to grow, and one day the person dies, like the Buddha said here. The body is going to be on the ground. At that point, that consciousness departs. It departs into another body. Right? So this is the phenomenon which the Buddha talks in. So then I would have to say there are in 6 vinyanas are already there. Small vinyana, eye consciousness, chakku vinyana. Then ear consciousness, sota vinyana. Then what else? Nose consciousness, that means gana vinyana. Then tongue consciousness, juha vinyana. Then body consciousness, kaya vinyana. Mind consciousness, mano vinyana. So these are normal, small vinyanas. But let me tell you, these are the vinyanas we are struggling until we die. So we think these are the highest vinyanas we have to deal with. An illusionary state of mind. Every time when I see somebody that I don't like, I know this again. I'm gonna get to see this person, and I think that somebody can think. I have to avoid. I have to let go. The moment that I hear a sound that I don't like, Sota Vijnana is active very fast. And then we think that this is something that I have to work on very much. So I think that at that point, you think at that point, the Sota Vijnana, or maybe Gana Vijnana, these sensory consciousness are the Vijnanas, are the very difficult ones. Actually, they are not the difficult ones. They are happening just because we are living here. The most important Vijnana is just Vijnana. Don't call it Vijnana 1, Vijnana 2, Vijnana 3. It's Vijnana, consciousness. But that is what has all the karma. And then we just go into the next slide till we pass it. So then 6 normal Vijnanas, and then the 7th one is this one. But later Buddhist schools add another Vijnana between the 6 Vijnanas and the last one. What is it? Anumiti Vijnana. Don't have to worry about it. I just write it here. Anumiti Vijnana. This is you, Anumiti. Anumiti means inference. Anumiti means inference. That means guessing. Now, say for instance, there are people when they are very much known to the life, sometimes they give some projections, some predictions. I think according to his or her experiences long term. Sometimes these predictions are going to work. Why is it? Because he or she has gone through lots of similar experiences in the past. But unfortunately, some people make wrong predictions. You know what? This guy who's coming out is a very bad. I think he's a bad guy. I think, but it's not. There's a bad inference. That means we say inference is a vijnana. We call anumiti vijnana. It's not given in the Pali text. Don't worry. It's a Mahayana text. Yogacara. I'm telling you that these later Buddhist schools garnish some of the concept, flavor garnish, just to get a full understanding about the concept. So basically, there are 7 vijnanas, but the Yogacara philosophers, Asanga Vasubandhu, they added some monks, very erudite scholarly monks who lived in the 4th century, Kanishka's time, King Kanishka's time. They added this one. Anyways, now vijnana. What's happening after that? When the vijnana departs, that whole vijnana, the moment that whole vijnana departs our body, at that time the body is cast aside, left on the ground. This body, which has no vijnana, is not even useful for anything. It's like a useless, what we call nirattanga. We normally say attanga means useful, but here nirattanga. That means useless kalingarang, scrap of wood. Right? Scrap of wood means the wood even cannot be used for lighting fire even. Maybe it is very wet. Maybe it is already, what do you call, going through a lot of problems, right? So that means we are even worse than the firewood at a certain point. I mean, the way how it was taken here. But it's not like this. When somebody passes away, you cremate that person, right? You're not even cremating. You sometimes even burning some of the things. Even mansions, airplanes also. But anyways, cremating that person, getting the ashes of that person, that we respect. What you call relics, the Buddha relics, Arahant relics. But if you look at it from a very normal perspective, even it can't be used for any firewood activity as well. So that means when the body is devoid of vijnana, there is no use of that body, because body doesn't carry consciousness. So this is the idea of the stanza, but we will discuss a little bit more. I want to now share the story. What is the story? There was a monk called Putigatta Tissa. You can see here. Puti Gatta Tissa. You understand? Tissa means name. But Puti means the English word called putrid. What does putrid mean in English? Putrid. Gatta means body. Gatta means body. Putrid body. That means a mortified body. Puti. Puti means that. Actually, there is a bigger story about this monk. Normally, you may have understood one day the Buddha advised his community of monks, nuns, and others how to take care of a sick person. That's the most important part of this story from another perspective. We have the usual perspective to understand how to understand life. On the other hand, what to do when we are going through sick people in our life. Even if we can do something for a sick person. Now, what happened to this monk, Tissa? His real name is Tissa, monk Tissa. He was not Putigatta Tissa. So he had a very comfortable, pleasant body before that. But then what happened? He developed a certain rash. The eczema or rash started as a size of a mustard. Okay? But then it was developed to a boil, and then the boil even developed to an extent of a very very big boil. And then the other monks were really scared to even get closer to him, right? And they stopped taking care of him. Then, the Buddha had a habit every day. He is looking out, is looking for someone. He wants to help out someone every day. How many times did he do that? He said that Buddha, every day, he looked at anyone who needs his help. How many times did he do it? One time? It is said that he did it 2 times a day. Now you can learn how to become compassionate, kind in your life as well. Learn from the Buddha, not from the suttas. Huh? First, learn from the Buddha's life. Because, why don't we learn from the Buddha's life? Why we pick up suttas in the first place? Then we go to the suttas appropriately. It is said that every morning, he, after the Devas came and got his help, he looked at anybody who he can help. How he looked at? From that person to himself. He goes to, his thoughts goes to other people. So then from that, it is said the direction how he looked at, from that person to the Buddha himself. That is the first time of his compassion, great compassion, every morning. Then in the evening time, early evening time, he again is looking for any buddy who needs his help. At that time, how he did was from him to that person. Direction is from him to that person. Morning from that person to himself, Buddha himself. Evening from Buddha himself to that person. So he saw Buddhagata, this monk, evening time, from him to that person. Then he saw all the other monks abandon him just because he's sick. So he went there. He didn't ask other people to go and take care. He himself went there. And then he first said something to the monks. You know what? Yo gilanang upatte heye somang upatte. Interesting statement. What was it? He said, if somebody takes care of a sick person, that person takes care of the Buddha. Very interesting. Now, sometimes there are people who, I know there are somebody who even put the mosquito net to the Buddha. He has a personal shrine room in his house. He put the mosquito net to the Buddha. But in his house, there are two sick people. He never looks at those two people. I said, you learn from the Buddha himself, Buddha is gone already. You visualize on. The Buddha said, because these are living people already. You put the mosquito net to the Buddha, thinking about the mosquitoes will bite the Buddha. Mosquitoes won't bite him. Of course, definitely. But why don't you take care of those two people in your household? They are very sick, they need your help. And this statement, Yo gilanang upatte here. If someone takes care of the sick people, taking care might depend on different person. Maybe it might involve money, it might involve your time. It is just as that person takes care of the Buddha himself. The Buddha said this to other monks. Other monks were a little bit, then they shocked. And then the Buddha asked one monk to bring hot water. And then he personally touched his body which had a lot of big boils, and then showered him. And he feel a little better because the hot water, and then he's seen the Buddha is himself. The Buddha is the one who is helping the body. Showering, and then he asked another monk to bring a small towel, and then wipe his body, dried his wet body. He felt very happy. He came, and then how he's doing service for me. I'm the one who should go and then do it in whatever the way. And then at that time, after he finished doing these necessary things, he felt a little better. At that time was the time he said this stanza to him. Dear monk, now you need to understand. Your body, you're going to drop the body very soon. Achirang vatayang kayo. Without long, you're going to drop the body. But keep in mind, Achirang vatayang kayo pataving adhises, but chuddu vapeta vinyana. But if you are not enlightened enough and you drop the body here, what will happen is that you are going to be reborn again. Actually, what happened at the end was that he became an arahant with those boils in the body. Because at that point, he passed away. Other monks didn't know what happened to him. Then they were asking the Buddha where he was reborn. He said, you can't know where he was reborn. He's an arahant. You cremate his body and make a pagoda with his relics. Then other monks were asking, if he became an arahant, why he got the boils? Why he had to suffer a lot just before he passed away? It's a very good question, right? A lot of people asking. Sometimes there are very good people but suffering a lot in the deathbed. Why is it? And then the Buddha said the story. During the Kassapa Buddha time, who is the Kassapa Buddha? Buddha Kassapa, the Buddha who was before the Shakyamuni. During his time, this monk Utigata Tissa was a hunter. Hunting the birds. And then he killed them. And then he took out the bird's feathers. Sometimes he did a lot of strategic things to kill the birds. And then one day, when he finished his morning duty, morning job thing, his killing birds, he met a monk, actually an Arahan monk. He didn't know, just a monk. And then he offered some food to the monk, thinking that I feel like you are so happy. And then looking at your temperament and character, just as you are happy, may my happiness also come to me. He, with lots of happiness, he dropped some food into the bowl, alms bowl of the monk, Arahan monk. Because he was able to offer that small amount of food and then doing that, he was able to become a monk at the time of Shakyamuni Buddha. And then, but because he did lots of torturing to birds, he had to suffer. That's why he had to suffer with all these things, right? So the story is what do you call Arahan Putigatatissa. Actually, he was an Arahant after that. Arahan Putigatatissa story, where we learn that on one side we have to be very careful with each actions, each action, I'd say karma. We have to take extra caution with every karma we are doing because these karmas are following us. Even the Buddha also cannot sometimes help, So that is one thing. Second is that he was able to become an Arahant because he offered this dana, alms food to the Arahant monk, right? So the overall idea of the stanza, let's go back again, comes under the Chitta Vakka, that if you understand how the consciousness works in your life, you will really take care of your thoughts, right? At the same time, stay consistent. Stay consistent with regard to your good activities, good karma. Sometimes today you listen to a Dhamma talk, maybe for another 2 months, you might not even engage in any of the Dhamma activity, right? But luckily, this Putigatatissa, Arahan Putigatatissa was able to offer some dana to the Arahan monk. And he was able to become an Arahant even at that point. On the other hand, learn a little bit about consciousness, Vijnana. What are the other places where we understand Vijnana? And I think I explained to you about how does someone die in a previous class. It is said, Ayu Usmacha Vijnana Yada Kayan Jahanti. So there are 3 things that have to finish or depart in order for someone to die. First one is Ayu. Ayu means Ayu. Ayu means this.
Lifespan.
Lifespan. Ayu. Ayu. Ayu means lifespan. That means, what does lifespan mean? Who gives us our lifespan? Huh? Who gave you your lifespan?
Karma, is it, Bhante? Our karma?
Lifespan.
Is it your mother? She's the one who gave birth to you. Father? How are we reborn actually? When we passed away, how are we reborn?
Craving, desire to be born.
The relinking consciousness.
Bhante muted.
Sorry about that delay. How are we reborn? How does the karma work for us to be reborn actually? In Pali, we understand there are different karmas that are operating for our rebirth and then our existence. Now, the karma that you are having now to live is not the karma that made you reborn. In Pali, we call it Janaka Kamma. Janaka, Janaka. Janaka Kamma is the one that made us reborn. It's a very massive jumbo karma. Otherwise, we would have not been becoming, humans. But then you see sometime there are people who were reborn like you, but they are suffering from that day onwards. Why is it? It is not because of that Janaka Kamma, that the Kamma that was made them reborn. Then Janaka Kamma, after making us reborn, vanishes. Then the rest of the karmas are taking root, taking precedence. Now, say for instance, look at this Potigata Tissa. Right? Potigata Tissa kill many birds, not even kill very with lots of violence, right? And then because of the offering of dana to the Arahant monk, he was able to become a human. And then what happened? Then the rest of the karmas, other karmas were coming out and then taking root, right? So then we need to understand that the way how karmas work. Now, Ayu here means actually, Ayu means karma. Definitely it's karma. Actually, our body is definitely a part of karma. Definitely the consistency of the karma. That's why we are different. And our look at the state of our body, sicknesses, health, they all are part of our karma, mostly. I would say mostly, but there may be certain things, as you see in many other suttas, like Girimananda Sutta. You see that there are certain other things that take root too. So, how do you know that you pass away? How to decide someone passes away? When that person loses any more good karma to sustain that life. That part is called Ayu part. This part, number one. Then number two,
Usma, the
Usma.
body temperature.
This one, Ayu Usma. Usma part. Usma means temperature, body temperature. This is a material thing, right? I mean, now when you are not karmically karmic enough, then what happens? Your organs might have some issues, and then body temperature will also, stop sustaining at that point. Then vijnana has to live. Actually, karma will be finished for that life, but you have other karmas. But you don't have karma to live longer in that life. Then temperature goes. At the same time, most importantly, your consciousness is going to depart. This is how death will happen to someone. So, but the thing is that when somebody is passing away, our problem is how to understand our attachment to that person, emotional attachment to that person. This is the biggest thing that many of us develop in that experience. We understand attachment is embedded in our experience, but as time goes by, we are trying to slowly heal from that. Even we understand Dhamma or not, that doesn't mean that you don't have to understand Dhamma. Time is a very big factor to heal from anything. I think you know that in your own way, right? So, I mean, looking at how Arahant Bodhisattva passed away and what the Buddha told him, they all tell us that we need to have a healthy understanding. Normally, if you ask from most of the Buddhists about the death, they will tell you a very unhealthy understanding about the death. See, we are dying, everything is gone, so you don't have to expect anything, you're gonna die, that's it. So what? I'm gonna die, even I know Buddhism or not. Right? That's a fact. But what does the Buddha talk about this? Buddha says, try to have a healthy understanding about the death, the changes that are happening to you. Right? Not that you don't demonize the body, don't demonize life. Right? If you demonize the life, you will die with lots of hatred. Lots of hatred. Right? That's why Buddha asks us to embrace the truth. Try to embrace. The more you embrace, the more healing is happening, the more understanding happening. In that understanding, you will become a very kind person, very loving person, very altruistic person. That's what we need. Right? Now you look at how did the Buddha help out the Arahant Bodhisattva. Now today for the first time, Buddha looked at people 2 times a day. Normally 1 time a day. Every morning only he did that. Now today that he did it in the evening. And there is a difference between how he did that. Morning, he did it from that person to the Buddha side, direction-wise. That means what that person is requesting from me, from the Buddha. He's looking out who needs my help. In the evening time, he's putting out this way. The person doesn't know about me. The person doesn't know whether I can help that person, but I have to give my help to that person. So morning kindness and evening kindness were differently given, but it was so much great compassion. How he did to the people. Right? Remember, there was a teenager girl in the Aggalava pagoda. And the Buddha saw this girl is going to die very soon. I think the following day she's going to die. And then because one, cow is going to attack her tomorrow. And then the Buddha went to Aggalava pagoda. And then Buddha asked from the girl in the audience, where are you coming from? Very interesting story. Then she said, I don't know. Then where are you going? I don't know. And then all the answers that she gave, like not knowing. Then the audience was very upset about the answer. How come you talk to the Buddha like this? You don't know how. Talk to him very respectfully. Then the Buddha said, no. What she said was true. She doesn't know where she's coming from, her past life. She doesn't know where she's going. And then the Buddha gave a Dhamma talk. Also, Dhammapada story. Dhammapada stands are coming up somewhere, I think, Lokavagga, somewhere in the future. And then she passed away tomorrow. Day after. Buddha could not help save the person, but at least Buddha gave the message. Don't die without anything. Die with the Dhamma. Die with the Dhamma. So you carry the Dhamma forward. Right? So we understand through this story another very interesting aspect, how to be compassionate to other people. If Buddha did for 2 times, why can't we do all the time in our life? Because Buddha is such a very busy person. So in our life, we have to learn how to spread kindness at least a couple of times a day. Right? Because it's one of the Brahma Viharas, as you understand, Karuna. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka are the ideal states that can help you to, grow in your Dhamma practice. Now, even Buddha did not have Karuna. He could not go and help monk Bodhisattva. Maybe monk Bodhisattva would have died with so much hatred. What is the hatred a sick person is carrying in the dead bed? See, I'm looking at my body. I want to heal myself, but I cannot. Nobody helps me. I don't know what to do. My situation is aggravating every day. With so much hatred, that person is dying. So the Buddha understood the situation. He immediately went to this particular place and helped the monk out. So this way we learn how to understand life with regard to the body and the mind. That's one thing. Second, how to be compassionate to other people. Third, how does our consciousness work with the karma, good and bad karma. So these are the three aspects that we learned today. Overall, all these things are happening because of the protection of our thoughts or non-protection of our thoughts. So I think we have to take care of our thoughts all the time. Going back to the story that I discussed with you a few weeks ago, remember the monk who was very unhappy about the Vinaya and Abhidhamma was trying to leave the temple, also distraught. And then at that time, he asked that monk to come. And then he asked what is going on. He said, my Acharya is a Vinaya teacher, my Upajjhaya is a Abhidhamma teacher. I'm so much sandwiched between these two teachers, teacher and Upajjhaya, mentor. I don't like to become a monk. I just want to go back. Happily living. Buddha said, don't worry about Vinaya and Abhidhamma. Can you worry about one small thing? Do one thing. Take care of your thoughts. Sachitta pariyodapana. The most important thing. If we can take care of our thoughts, sila will come to you, samadhi will come to you, panya will come to you. One practice, solution to all. But what if you going to practice sila separately, samadhi separately, panya? That you are doing that sometimes. You want to do a sila practice separately, samadhi practice, meditation separately, and then you are thinking, where is my wisdom? I am not yet wise. Why is my wisdom not coming to me? It's still inactive, passive. It is because you thought these three are three practices. If you take care of your thoughts, sila, samadhi, panya, automatic. So automation is happening. So this stanza with the story tells us lots of things. Finally, take care of your thoughts. Karma will be okay. And then with that, taking care of your thoughts, you will have a very healthy perspective in looking at your life, death, sickness, and everything. And this is what we've been discussing. So any questions for today? Any questions?
Bhante?
Yes.
But the Dhammapada verse 1 and 2 started off with Manu. So after that, we don't see Manu in the Dhammapada verses. Why does the Buddha start with Manu in the Dhammapada verse 1 and 2? Yeah.
Dhammapada was a book of compilation by the monks. Teachings given by the Buddha, which was scattered. Actually, a lot of stanzas. Most of the stanzas of the Dhammapada, they are scattered in the Sutta Pitaka, in what you call Anguttara, Samyutta, and Majjhima Nikaya. So they were collected in one book. And then in some places, Buddha used the Pali word Manu. Why is it? Sometimes Buddha could not, or Buddha didn't want to use Chitta in that perspective because he wanted to just tell people, sometimes, say for instance, there's a newcomer coming to me. How to become happy in my life? How I'm going to talk to that person? You have thoughts, take care. What are thoughts? Where are they happening? Then I better say, take care of your mind then. Because inside the mind has thoughts. So in that particular two stanzas, what the Buddha had done was to give an overall understanding about the cognitive process. That was why he used Mano at them. But then why he didn't use Manovagga? Why he used Chittavagga? It is because then he wanted to analyze this mind further and then wanted to tell people how to simply understand your cognitive process. That is only by understanding thoughts. Then mind is complementary in that perspective. You look at the two people who he gave the two stanzas. The first one, Chakkupala, Arahant Chakkupala. Second one for the Matta Kundali. So these two stanzas were revolving around and actually he did not give to Arahant Chakupala because Arahant Chakupala was the storyline. He gave to other monks. So other monks didn't understand thoughts that way. So he wanted to discuss Arahant Chakupala's story with the mind, which has thoughts. But when we really want to understand the process in the mind, then we have to deal with it through thoughts, chitta. That's why it would have been as such.
Thank you, Bhante. Very good.
We got a question here in the chat. We as Buddhists have the responsibility to preserve the Dhamma for Buddha Sasana, but usually we can start on from the perspective of Tipitaka to prolong them. Example, the needs of memorize. Where to start of it, it is needed. It is short verse like Dhammapada. What is your opinion? I think the taking care of the Buddha Sasana has to be done not by protecting the books itself. It is by the practice. Because that is number one. Actually, that one has to be done by the Sangha community. Sangha has the more responsibility than you. Don't worry about responsibility that Sangha has to do, because there are roles, because they are the ones who can understand Pali and all that properly, experts, and they will do that. But on your part, what you can do is help Sangha members to do that process. That is number one. On the other hand, also follow the lay people teachings given by the Buddha. Then you are doing the preservation of the Dhamma. It is not by writing the books all the time and then maybe carving on the stone. If you are not practicing, what is the purpose of carving on the stones? Right? You only hear it, but you never practice it. You only do it. Right? It's going to be a university degree at that point. Huh? So, the protection of Buddha Sasana must be done through the practice. But of course, Sangha members will do the preservation of Dhamma in the textual context. You're asking, yeah, Dhammapada, actually, as I said, Dhammapada was a collection of stanzas made by the monks. Actually, if you think that, if you want to study some Buddhism very in a simple way, Dhammapada is the best place. It is the best place. There was a one man who was hypnotized by a famous hypnotizer in Sri Lanka a long time ago in 70s. And he was asked what was his previous life. He said, I was born in the UK. And then why did you want to be born in Sri Lanka? Because I learned a book. I studied a book, then I like to be reborn in Sri Lanka. What was the book? Dhammapada. Interesting, interesting story. And then, yeah, some monks quoted this in their introduction to Dhammapada. One book I read while I was in the UK, and then, yeah, so I developed a fascination to be reborn in Sri Lanka. Yes. All right. Any other questions? Maybe about today or your overall thoughts?
Bhante, if I would like to continue, Bhante. I think thank you very much for saying that this story's moral is to die with Dhamma. I think that's very pertinent takeaway from today's verse. Can we say that King Bimbisara died with the Dhamma because he had such a tragic death, but he died always looking towards where Buddha was staying, and he died with Dhamma. So I would like to think that if the time comes that I should be dying, I would like to die with Dhamma. Thank you.
King Bimbisara was a Sotapan. Right? He was a Sotapan, but what happened? He became a good Yakka. What is his name? Janavasava Yakka. Because in Digha Nikaya, there is a sutta about him, Janavasava Sutta. If you go look at, I think we can search the sutta here. Janavasapa Sutta. Here, see the text here. Yeah, you're going to carry 18. Yeah. Yeah, look at it. Janavasapa spirit. Then Ananda vanished. Ananda, vanished spirit called out, I am Janavasapa, blessed one. I am Janavasapa, holy one, Ananda. Do you recall having previously heard such name as Janavasapa? No, sir. But when I heard the word, I got goosebumps. I thought this must be no ordinary spirit to bear such an exalted name as Janavasapa. After making himself heard while vanished, Ananda, a very beautiful spirit appeared in front of me. And for a second time, he called out, I am Bimbisara. I'm Bimbisara, blessed one, I'm Bimbisara, holy one. This is the 7th time I'm reborn in the company of the Vessavana. That means, what happened? Digha Nikaya 18. King Bimbisara had a very challenging time because his son, King Ajasatta, was provocated and instigated by a monk called Devada. See what monks can do, even dethrone do lots of bad things because people trust, and then that trust can be used to do bad things. So anyways, what happened, he was so much insecure about what would be happening, and he killed father slowly, gradually. Remember how King Bimbisara's wife was so loving him, and then the son asked, check my mother, whether my mother is bringing anything to my father. Then she couldn't bring anything to the husband. Then what she did was she then put some certain food on her back, and then asked him to lick her back. That's how she took care of Bimbisara. But then finally, the law enforcement found out she's bringing certain things on her back, and then she was isolated. You can't go to see your husband. So, but King Bimbisara was a Sotapanna. So he understood his son's activities not in hatred. He understood things from a more objective point of view. And then he passed away, and he became a Deva, Yakha Deva, under the Vessavana, Chatu Maharajaga. So the problem is that to die with Dhamma, are we having that Sotapanna level of Dhamma understanding? This is the most important thing. Perhaps you may have, you don't know. It's like some people say, when other people say, you are suffering a lot. No, I'm not suffering, but you are suffering. For other people, why are you eating like this? Why are you staying like this? You are suffering compared to others. No, I'm not suffering. I'm good. Right? It's like this. Sometimes we don't know whether we are Sotapannas or not. We don't have to know. But one thing is very important. Whether you know or not, die with the thought that I want to become a Sotapanna. That's it. Because then you carry the Dhamma forward to the next time. So King Bimbisara was exempt from this issue because he's a Sotapanna. His life will be shortened, definitely. But in our case, we don't have to worry whether we are or not. Rather, let's do the prerequisites of becoming a Sotapanna. Number 1, Parato Gosha, listening to true Dhamma. Number 2, being surrounded with Kalyana Mittas. Number 3, Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention. Number 4, Dhammanudhamma Patipada, learning Dhamma and practicing according to the Dhamma, the way how it was given, not my own customized way. So when you are working on these 4, you will make the progress one day. Yeah, even you die before that, don't worry, because you have the background for that. So you are good at that point. So that's how we look at King Bimbisara. Okay, so yes.
Bhante, can you repeat the 4 things again? I didn't catch it.
Okay.
Number 1.
So there are 4 prerequisites of becoming a Sotapanna according to the almost 100 suttas given in the Sotapatti Samyutta, in the Samyutta Nikaya. Number 1, listening to the true Dhamma. In Pali, we call it Saddhamma Savana or Parato Ghosha. Number 2, Kalyana Mittata, being surrounded with the noble friends. The solo practice is not enough. We need some Kalyana Mittas to push us to the next level all the time. Number 3 is Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention. Most important thing, if you don't have it, you can't get to the Noble Eightfold Path, Sammaditthi. Number 4 is Dhammanu Dhamma Patipada. Very interesting. That means we listen to Dhamma talks, but in the practice, we do in our own way. So we mess up in the practice. When you listen to the true Dhamma, we have to practice it the way how it was given. So it's called practicing Dhamma according to how it was given to us, imparted. These are the 4 prerequisites. So when you are working on these 4, whether you know or not, you should be good in the practice.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you so much.
All right. So with that, we are going to transfer all the good karmas at this point. May all the good karmas which we've been making today, day 65 of our OPRC class, be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May all the departed ones, Natipeta, be well and happy. May they, at the same time, attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukhita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukhita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukhita huntu nyatayo. We are going to share all the good karmas with the Deva, Naga, and Vedika. Also, and other people who are in our life at this time. May all the good karmas be shared by all these Devas, Nagas, and others. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us with good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. All these are very important to carry on a healthy Dhamma practice. At the same time, may Devanaga Mahindika bless our Dhamma journeys. Finally, may they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca Bhummanta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Sasanam. Akasattha ca Bhummanta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Desanam. Akasattha ca Bhummanta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Mang Paranti Chirang Rakhantu Mang Sanati. Dhammavish. Our Dhammavish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas all the way to Nibbana. Kalyana Mittas undoubtedly help us sustain, deepen, maintain our Dhamma practice. When the Arahant Ananda at one point told the Buddha, half of our spiritual journey, Dhamma journey, depend on the Kalyana Mittas. Buddha said, no, 100%. The full practice depends on how many Kalyana Mittas that we are surrounded. So in thinking like that, we are continuously thinking, may more Dhamma, Kalyana Mittas flourish in our Dhamma life. May they continue to be with us. Thinking thus, we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we will making today by learning about another Dhammapada stanza with regard to karma, consciousness, vijnana, and Buddha's compassion, and how to understand life from a more objective perspective be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silisse nichang vaddha prachayino chataru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me viche ato nibbana sampatti iminati samichhu sadhu sadhu sadhu. With that short blessings, wishing you a good night, pleasant evening, till we see again.
Good night, Bhante. Good night.
Bhante.
Thank
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu,
you,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sadhu,
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Take care,
Good night.
everybody.
Thank you,
Good night.
Bhante. Have a good rest. Bye-bye. Bhante is in Manila now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
First time, right? Was it first time to
Second
Manila?
time. Second
Or
time.
second time, yeah.
Yeah.
Very congested city, yeah?
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
It
I think,
is,
okay,
yeah.
good. Nice to see. Now is the professor, assistant professor. Thank you.
How are you
And see
doing
you
there,
tomorrow.
Bhante? Bhante, how are you doing there right now?
I'm doing good. Yes, doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yes, yes, doing good.
Good. So
Okay.
see you tomorrow, Bhante.
Yes, see you tomorrow.
Which faculty are you in? Religious.
No, School of Humanities and
Wow.
Department of Philosophy. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yes.
good. Philosophy and humanities, huh? Good, Bhante. We catch up tomorrow.
Okay.
Good
Cool.
night.
Yes,
Good
thank you.
night.
Good
Good
night.
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 Yeah,
Yes.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye,
sister.
everyone. Bye.
Yeah.